Hi everyone, it's TrailTrekBeck. Thanks for tuning in on my next adventure. I'm very excited to show you guys this one. So right now I'm actually at a new place that I've never been to before. It's my first time here, so I'm pretty excited to show you this as I experience it for the first time. The trail I'm going to be doing is called Baden-Powell Pathway, and if you're familiar with the area, you may know that it's actually formerly known as Grassy Brook Park. It's located in Niagara Falls. The main road that I came in off of there is called Montrose, and just to give it a little bit of geographical perspective, it's actually just south of the Welland River. And the QEW is what you see there in front of me, the highway overpass. It's actually short for the Queen Elizabeth Way, and it's our main highway here in the Niagara region. So to the right there, it's going to go down into Fort Erie, and then to follow it to the left will take me further into Niagara Falls, and then of course into St. Catharines and onwards and forwards. So again, there's the back, that's the Montrose Road and the parking lot back there, and I'm going to continue to walk forward. But let me just do a little pan here. Yeah, so then now you can see that there's train tracks to my left. I'm going to go take a quick peek, but I'm not going to do the tracks first. I will stick to the main trail, but let's just kind of get an idea of how far they go. So let's walk on over. Yeah, again, so this is the QEW. I always find highway overpasses very interesting to be underneath. It's definitely a different perspective than being on top of it in a car. So this is kind of fun, I think. Just to be underneath and hearing the echo and the vibrations of all the vehicles driving over top of my head. And you can see there that the train tracks actually run through Montrose Road and go straight ahead alongside this trail and runs through the Welland River and goes right into Stanley Avenue, which is a street that I will probably end up walking to later on in this video. But for now, let's get back on the gravel road, and we're going to head over and find the main trail. Again, it's called Baden-Powell Pathway, and let's see how this is going to turn out. It's actually quite interesting to be on this trail because it's one of the few trails that I've entered where it is, one, right off of a main busy road in the city of Niagara Falls, and two, it begins under the QEW, which is the main highway overpass in the Niagara region. So it is actually quite noisy, but I imagine as we get further into the trail, which you can see the entrance just there, but these cars driving over the highway overpass here, like I said, is quite noisy, but I imagine it's going to get more faint as we proceed, at least I hope so. So here it is. Here's the entrance to the trail. So we can see that it's gone from gravel now to sand, soil kind of mixture here. Again, there's still the highway overpass. Quite noisy. So the trail is quite distinctly marked. Seems to be pretty clear so far. It's very overgrown everywhere outside of the trail. So you can definitely tell that this is more of a natural area. It's definitely not maintained, which is fine. But these are the types of trails that you just have to be careful for with regards to ticks specifically. It is the season for them as well. So that's why I do want to make sure I'm not going off of the trail too much here, because there are definitely going to be bugs. So as I continue to take you further down the trail, you can kind of tell that it looks very similar. There's not a lot of dynamic images or different landscape and terrain to really look at on this trail. And that's why I wanted to start with this as my first, just because it is a very easy trail to do. And it's a very short trail. It's an in and out trail that's only 2.1 kilometers. So each way is roughly 1 kilometer each, which would only take, if you're walking at a pretty good pace, it could take you maybe 25 minutes, 30 minutes. Or if you're like me, you're kind of strolling around right now and taking in the scenery, it may take you up to closer to 40 minutes. And as you can see, I just decided to take this little detour off the side of the main trail. These wooden man-made stairs actually caught my eye, so I wanted to quickly check it out. It is very cool. I do like to do little detours like this. I hope you enjoy them as well. I'm definitely into exploration on my trails. And you can see here too that this obviously isn't the main trail. It's very overgrown. There actually isn't a trail here at all. And it leads us right out to the river, which is actually called Grassy Brook River, which I'm assuming is why the park used to be called Grassy Brook Park. So it kind of does look a little swampy, but it's very charming. It's very calm, very serene, very peaceful down here. And there's a little dock. It does look like, yeah, I'm just making sure it's dirty before I step on it. It does look like an ideal spot for coming out to fish. I don't fish, but if you're an angler, then maybe you find this quite charming. It is very calm and peaceful here, so I imagine that's what you would need when you're fishing. So let me just turn the camera for you so you can really take this in. There is a soft spot on the wood here, so I will be mindful of my stepping. So I'm going to take the stairs back up. It was a fun little detour, but we do want to get back on the main trail. I do want to show you the rest of it. I know it's not quite long, but it is still fun to have these little detours. It definitely makes more for an adventure and exploring, which is something I'm always game for. So you can see to the left there, that's the trail that we came in off of, and it leads forward here. So we're jumping back on and we're going to continue forward down the trail. Okay, and as you see us come up along the bend here, there is a divergent here in the road. It just actually loops around. So when I looked at it on the map, this just goes up and around to the left and curves back to right where we are, because this is now the end of the trail. So I did cut some of the trail short, like some of the footage out, just because it's very repetitive and I'm trying to just speed things up a little bit, because instead of watching a 40-minute video about a 2.1 kilometer trail, I can just try to show you some of the highlights here. So I will take you to the end of the trail and around just so you can see what it looks like. So we'll just walk on forward from here. This part is actually very overgrown. The grass, I'm not sure if you can tell, but it is quite tall and it is rubbing against my legs. So I'm very happy that I have long pants on and that I have a lot of bug spray on, because like I said, we don't know if there are ticks around and it's better to be safe than sorry. And speaking of which, this bridge looks very charming as well. I'm actually quite curious where it leads to. So it does cross over the Grassy Brook River, which we just went down to visit when we were on the dock just a little while back. That's the trail we came off of, where it actually is marked as the trail being finished on the map that I'm following. So I've been off the bridge for about a minute now, and it's quite overgrown here. The trail is quite hard to see, but it's very narrow. You can kind of see it. But like I kind of assumed, it doesn't lead very far. It actually is leading me right out to an open meadow. So let's go and take a peek. And as I pan over to the right, you're going to see to the right there, the main road is Montrose Road. So we haven't strayed off too far from the main trail, and we're actually still quite near the QEW in Montrose. So that just goes to show too that the trail is just a very short and sweet little trail, just kind of nestled off of the side of a main road in Niagara Falls. I'm going to follow the bridge back over and get us back onto the main trail and take us on out. Okay, so we are back at our main landmark of our trail, which is the QEW Highway Overpass. I'm just heading over to the train tracks. So that hold on, let me do a little pan back here. And that's Montrose Road, the main road that we came in on. And these train tracks are going to go straight through the Welland River, which that bridge goes over top of. See, that's just our trail to the right there. And again, that's the Welland River in front of us, that the bridge is going to cross it and then proceed onwards towards Stanley Avenue, which is probably about as far as I'm going to take the tracks down. You can see off to the right here, there's some beams from the bridge. I'm going to go over and check them out, and of course, I'm going to climb on them because I just can't help myself. It is quite fun, actually. And let me give you a pan backwards. There's our track. Getting forever closer to our bridge. So let's get closer to our bridge. There is a little pathway actually just up here on the right. I'm going to pan the camera there in a second. You can actually see down beside the bridge too, there's an entrance. But right here is a little pathway, and I am quite intrigued by it. I don't know exactly where it goes, but it is something to check out on the way back. So you can see that I'm back on the tracks. I'm taking my time sort of one step at a time here over the Welland River, mainly because this is my first time trotting along this bridge, and you can see that these beams are actually quite worn, and so I'm not sure if any of them are rotted or are going to give way as soon as I step on them, so I'm taking it one step at a time. So if I pan up, yep, and I'm showing you that we are about halfway through the bridge now. You can still see the highway overpass. We got the beautiful Welland River. And here we go again. Yeah, see, look at that one. That one's a little rotted. It kind of slipped my foot out a little bit, so that's why I'm taking it one at a time. I'm actually putting my foot down in a fashion where I put the top of my foot down, like the toe pad, and then step fully, like once I can get a feel for its security and the stability of the beam. But look at that. You can just see the water underneath. It's so beautiful. It's such a thrill. I love it. Look at that. Just gorgeous. Water is so calm and so peaceful underneath. It's actually quite relaxing. I get like it can be a little intimidating for someone who's maybe afraid of heights or even afraid of water. And the beams are a little bit further apart than I had anticipated, but it just looks gorgeous underneath. It's like turquoise. This is actually a lot of fun. It's definitely a rush. And I am near the end. Well, that went by quite quickly, actually. I walked faster than I actually was planning to. All right, look at that. We are off the bridge. There it is, that beautiful old rickety bridge. We are going to hit a second bridge, and then we're going to approach Stanley Avenue. And something here actually that caught my eye as I approached the bridge, you can see that there is a little sort of human-made trail that goes down to the Welland River. And the bridge before us, I wasn't going to go down to the water, but you know what? I see this little trail, and why not? Let's check it out. I'm also liking that this bridge is way more stable and gives me a lot more sense of security. You can see that the foundation of the bridge is much more integral to the support of the train tracks above. It is solid ground, right? The train tracks before on the bridge were beams, and this one is actually solid ground. So it's quite different, which is interesting how two bridges back to back can be so dynamically different from each other. But this one is fun because I love arched bridges like this. They are fun to explore. It is a little bit of a tight squeeze here, actually. Kind of slipping a little bit. what a beautiful breeze. Again, look how clean that water is. This is the bridge. Much more sturdy, reliable looking bridge. Look at the water. Just gorgeous. So nice and clear. And we're going to head back now because I want to show you on top of the bridge as well, and I really want to make it to Stanley before we head back. I can't help it. These arches are so gorgeous. Okay, so this is the graffiti. It looks appropriate. Let's hope so. I mean, it's beautiful. I love art. I think it's gorgeous to look at as long as it's nice and it's not saying anything mean. Oh, the sun's peeking. Look at that. Just gorgeous. There is a bit of a structure here. I'm not familiar enough with the area to know exactly what that is that we're seeing in the water, but it's still very interesting. Look at that. Yeah, I don't know what it is. If someone knows, you know, leave a comment below, let me know. I'm always excited to find out new information. I'm always excited to learn. Again, I'm just here to explore and discover. I don't claim to be a wise old keeper of knowledge of all trails. I just kind of come out here, sometimes even on a whim. I'm like, hey, what can I discover today? What can I learn today? So if you guys can ever help me on that path, that spiritual path of knowledge and experience, please jump right in. So I'm coming up the path here, the side of the bridge. I was grabbing the wood there, the wood frame, because I got a little steep and slippery, and I'm doing this with one hand, so I don't want to fall and smash my camera, because that would just suck. This is a gorgeous area, actually. It's very calm too. You know, it's interesting to me because I'm in the middle of two main roads in Niagara Falls, Montrose Road and Stanley Avenue, and there's the QEW highway overpass. And yet I'm still here finding some kind of peace and quiet. Getting closer. You can see to the right there, Stanley Avenue, pan over to the left, crosses right through the train tracks. So let's get nice and close. I'm one of those people, like, I gotta touch it with my foot and then I know, okay, I've reached the destination. Now it's time to turn around. So here we go. We made it to the road. You can see that it is still very active. The train tracks do continue down forward, but we are going to end it here in Stanley. And that was fun. So let's turn around and we'll head back the way we came. There was that trail, if you remember, when we were approaching the first bridge, there was a little trail entrance off to the right-hand side. It was actually quite easy to miss, but as we approach it now, it's going to be on our left-hand side, just after the last bridge. And I want to take us down there. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of cut through all this footage and get us there right away, because this is the train tracks that we've already seen, so it is super repetitive. So let's just cut through it. And guys, guess what? We are back on our first bridge, the old rickety scary one. And who is the crazy nut job that put her feet between the beams dangling over top of the water? And let me just give you a bend backwards. I'm not contorting my body as much as you think. Ha ha ha. I'm being crazy, I know. But look at that. Beautiful. I just had to sit down on the bridge. Can I help it? Look at this. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I'm a thrill seeker. This is actually making my my heart race just a little bit, I will be honest. But it's quite fun. Ha 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 ha. Anyways, getting off topic. So this is the entrance to the little trail I had shown you when we were approaching the first rickety old bridge that I just dangled my feet through like a crazy woman. And so we are entering the trail now. You can tell that this part of the trail is one, like, it actually looks like it's ATV tracks. I don't know for sure, but it does kind of look like it, right? Or am I just crazy? but it's quite overgrown, so you can tell that one, it's again that beautiful naturalized trail, but I'm thinking that this isn't really a trail that people are walking on. It looks distinctly like tire marks to me, so I'm thinking ATV, in which, hey, maybe I will come back here with an ATV. But it is beautiful though. I'm just trying to be careful because, well, you know, nature, it's all over me. No, I don't mind that. Just be careful, right? Safety first. We don't want to get covered in ticks. There it is. There's the deer. You see it moving? It just hopped away. So the whole time I saw these two deer hopping through, and I was trying to not scare the poor things. But yeah, look, there it is. Just absolutely beautiful. So I just wanted to get at least one video of them to show you. There was two there, but before I could put the camera on again, the second one disappeared right away. And then the second one, or the first one, was just kind of waiting around watching me. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, I don't want to scare you. So I just wanted to show you that. Anyways, I'm going to do a couple of quick cuts again just to kind of get us through this trail. Again, you know, you can tell that it's very naturalized here. Again, we're looking at ATV marks. The trail is quite overgrown, so I'm just carefully ducking underneath everything. I'm trying not to disturb nature anyway, but also we don't want to get covered in bugs. So yeah, there's tons of ATV tracks here, right? They're just all kind of crossing and converging at different parts of the trail. I'm not familiar with this area. I only know the main trail that I had shown you earlier. So this is actually very new and exciting for me as well. I mean, I haven't done the main trail before either until today, so that's still very, very exciting. And speaking of very exciting, we are coming across more trails that just kind of cross over top of each other. So I'm instinctively going to go right just because I can hear the traffic, and I know that our landmark of the QEW highway overpass is obviously where the traffic's going to be, all that loud noise. So I guess it is kind of one of the blessings about being close to civilization and the urban city as we know it. So I'm going to trek on down towards the right hand side, and I can't see the highway overpass just yet, but I can definitely hear it. So that is a really good giveaway that I know that I'm going. Oh, there it is. You can see the highway overpass very faintly in the back, but it's a good indication of where we're going. That's why I always really like to have those landmarks when I'm out on my trails, just in case, you know, that for some reason your compass stops working or you don't get cell phone reception, so you can't use Apple Maps or Google Maps. So it's just nice to always have yourself oriented to the ground in your own kind of internal compass way, because it's better for navigation, and it's just better for a sense of your own personal direction, to know where you're going and where you are, right? Just orienting yourself. So having said that, I now know that we are coming up on the main trail, which is right here. You can tell it's more distinctly marked because it's been trotted on much more. That's the ATV trail, and it continues straight through right there. But I'm going to turn right onto the main trail. You can see how it is a pretty clear path, and in front of me I see people up there. So again, another clear indication that we are on the right track. Just to give you a bit of geographical situation, the ATV trail, I was maybe about 50 feet out from the main trail when I cut that bit out just to kind of speed us up a bit, but it was pretty close. It wasn't that far away. So now we're on the main trail here, and I'm just going to follow it back through. Okay, and that is the end of our trail today, the Baden-Powell pathway. So thank you for joining me on my new trek today. And as always, I want to leave you with some pictures that I took during the duration of the trail. And I want to leave you with a few stats as well. So the length of the trail was 2.23 kilometers long. That is only the main trail, the in and out trail that we did first. That does not include the train trek that we did over the two bridges over to Stanley Avenue and back. And that does not include the detours that we took through the ATV trails. It is just the main trail that is 2.23 kilometers long. And it took me about 30 minutes and 2 seconds to do, and that was me slowing down to take pictures and to pan out and show you guys stuff as well. So you could probably walk it a little bit faster if you wanted to, or even slower, because why not? A nice little stroll, right? And the elevation gain was 122 meters. So thank you so much for joining me on my new journey today. This is my first time being here, and it was so great to share it with everyone who joined me today. And as always, keep trekking. Bye, guys.